Hi, this is Jay, and today we're going to be talking about how to write your name in Braille. You're going to need a Braille slate and stylus and a cardstock and the worksheet that I've got in the description below called You Can Write Braille. Copy that and you'll be good to go. And so with that, let's get into it. Alrighty. So here we go. We're gonna try and share how to write one's name in Braille, in the actual Braille dots here. I should say that this activity is designed for sighted people to explore Braille, to learn about Braille. This is not an attempt to teach a visually impaired person how to use Braille. There's sort of different ways of teaching this, and I'm just teaching this as sort of a abilities awareness activity. But anyway, so this is the Braille alphabet that was developed by Louis Braille back in the 1800s, and yeah, we're gonna just kind of show how to do this. So the way I do this as an activity, I usually teach how to write one's name in Braille. And so in honor of Louis Braille, we're going to write his name. So I'm going to write L-O-U-I-S. That's how Louis is spelled. And so what we're going to need to do is just encode the dots here. So L has these three dots on the left, and then O has this pattern, and then U has the top dot on the left, bottom dot on the left, bottom dot on the right. I is these guys, sort of a diagonal, and then S is it's actually sort of the same as the I, except it's got one dot more left on the below. So that's how the dots would be. We're just kind of doing this as a handy cheat sheet, because we're actually going to be embossing the dots with the slate and stylus, which is kind of tricky, and so we want to just sort of have a reference for how to do this. Now, let me get an example of Braille here. So here's some Braille, and now the interesting thing with Braille is we're going to be using this tool called a stylus to emboss the dots, but you have to emboss the dots from the back. And so in order to do that, you basically have to flip the paper over from left to right. So we actually are going to have to reverse each of the Braille cells, and we're going to be writing from right to left. And so to kind of make a reference for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually write Louis backwards, L-O-U-I, and I like to make the S backwards just to make the point that we're going to actually have to flip each letter right to left. So L is going to be the dots on the right hand side, and then O is sort of going to be an arrow, this time pointing to the left, and then U is going to be the top and the bottom dot, and then one on the bottom, sort of reversing that. And then I is going to be angled this way, and then S is going to be like that. So that's kind of our reference for how we're going to need to emboss the dots. So now that we've got that out of the way, we're just going to put that there, and we're going to see how it goes embossing this with the slate and stylus. So this is a slate. This is actually very similar to the kind of tool that Louis Braille used back in the 1800s. It's been modernized. This one's kind of made out of aluminum, and so you'll notice there's a couple dots that stick up here, and those are actually I call them registration dots, but it's sort of a reference. And so first thing I'm going to want to do is just kind of push down on the paper where those dots are, I'm going to push down where these dots are to keep the paper from moving around so much. So pushing that down, that's just going to help the paper from not sliding around. So then I close this, and hopefully the paper won't slide around so much. And so now we're going to need to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. All right, here we go. 3 dots on the right for the L. Next up for the O. Top on the right, middle on the left, bottom on the right. U is top on the right, and then the 2 bottom dots. And then I is going to be little angle top on the left, middle on the right, nothing on the bottom. And then S is going to be, here we go. And now if I've done this correctly, theoretically, it should say Louis, and it sure does, Louis. And that is how you Braille your name in Braille. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a little bit about how to write your name in Braille. I'm gonna try and read it here with my fingertips. It's actually easier for me to write Braille with a Slate and Stylus than it is to read it. I did want to apologize that there isn't audio description yet for this video, but if you're visually impaired or blind and would like to have this video produced with audio description, let me know in the comments below. And yes, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed learning how to use a Braille Slate and Stylus to write your name.
That's a wrap.